Hello there, welcome to Mind Your Business. This is my weekly video podcast in which I get to share about business so that we can learn more about how to do business and get results. Then we can create wealth and impact people. I am Amma Duncan. I am a corporate trainer, business coach, and founder of the Fabulous Woman Network. I am also the hostess of Mind Your Business. Now, just in case you're new here, if you see me looking this way, it means I am looking on my notes so that I give you the correct stuff that I put down to tell you. Also, if you know me well, then you know that networking is my jam. I love to network and I love to teach on networking. I have even written a cutie book on networking, which is available on Amazon, or you may reach out to us if you're interested in this book. So that brings me to the other point. Have you heard that I am organizing a networking masterclass? Yes, networking masterclass, where we are going to learn how to build and sustain meaningful relationships with people. This is happening online, so no matter where you are, you can be a part of this. It's happening on Tuesday, 20th July, which is a public holiday in Ghana, and I believe in some other countries as well. The time is 1 p.m. GMT to 3 p.m. GMT. So in these 2 hours that we are going to be spending time together live on Zoom, this is what we are going to learn. You, my dear, yes, you participating will be given the skills, strategies, and tools to, first of all, identify new networks. Secondly, network with new people anywhere. Third, network at events. And then to network online. Ooh, that's one of my favorites. And then to network if you are shy. Are you shy? Then to network consciously, also how to nurture new relationships, and finally networking with care. So this is what is going to happen, God willing, on 20th July. It's a Tuesday, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. GMT, and it's a holiday. So join me if this is something that you need. There's a link in the caption wherever you're watching. There's a link. Click on it, or you can call my assistant Seth on +233 24625 2330 so we can get you registering and being a part of this. For today, I am going to give you just a tip of the iceberg. I'm going to share 4 tips for attracting a great network. First of all, why am I so passionate about networking? Oh my God, because it's the game changer. The people we surround ourselves with, the environment that we find ourselves in changes everything. Changes the books we are reading, the things we are seeing, the things we are hearing, the opportunities we are hearing. I have sat here in Ghana and had so many opportunities online and through meeting a few people, all because of the people who knew me. Every single job I've ever had since God brought me to this earth and I started working some 15 or so years ago. Every single contract I've ever had since I started my business about 7 years ago has been through my network, has been somebody either recommending me or telling me about it. It was never about me going to go into or look through newspapers and then find something and apply. Yes, that works for other people. I am speaking from my experience, remember. And so I know that for networking, it's an essential skill that every single person, especially students and startups, need to hone. Because frankly, no matter your degree, the first or whichever class, no matter how amazing you are or how amazing your products and services are, if people don't know you, it's difficult to get to where you need to get to. We need people, and that's why we need to network, and that's why I'm so passionate about networking. And so for those of you who are interested in the class, I'll teach you different things and why you should even network without any ulterior motive, because you actually never know who you are networking with. And today I'll share a few examples, or reasons why you should actually network without any ulterior motive. Did I just say that again? Anyway, so 4 tips, and as usual, I am going to use a few stories to explain my point. The first point is be courageously authentic when you are networking. Be courageously authentic, or in simpler terms, be yourself. Be okay with being yourself because you're amazing. Number one, you're fabulous. Number two, please believe me, because you are. God created you, and He made you fabulous, right? Okay, so here's the main thing. Sometimes we are uncomfortable, or we feel uncomfortable being ourselves because we feel other people will judge us, and they won't judge us positively. They'll say things about us, or they won't approve of us. But here's the thing. If you are not being genuine, you are not being honest about who you are are pretending, who are the sort of people you are going to attract? People who like the alternative you, or the fake you. How are you going to be able to serve people who don't know the true you? Let me give an example of a job I had when I was just courageously authentic. It was a job in the northern region of Ghana. I had the opportunity to go and train some fabulous young people. And I remember during one of the sessions, during a break, I asked the organizer, how come you chose me? Because we were actually in the midst of a lot of other trainers when he let me know of this opportunity. And then he told me that earlier we had been at a conference, and during the conference, I just got up and created a joke that got everyone to laugh. It was when I did this that he said, this is the kind of girl I want on my team, because she's down to earth, create jokes, and as some people say, I don't take myself too seriously. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I was surprised because I thought he actually hired me because I'm so well versed in the topic and all that. Obviously I am, but that was not the main reason he hired me, according to him. Now imagine that if at this meeting I had decided to be stiff and super serious and some way, and then someone else looking for that kind of personality had hired me, I would have gone and I would have had to pretend to be all that I was not. Instead, I chose to be myself, and I attracted the right kind of people that I needed in my network, got this job, and who knows what others. And so what I'm saying is, by being authentically yourself, of course, it could also mean that you may lose something, but if you lose that thing, it's not actually lost. It wasn't for you. What this means is that, for instance, for the person who finds me too not so funny or whatever, and finds me that, oh, I'm too down to earth and all that, it means that our values do not fit. If he or she is not going to hire me for that particular thing, it means that our values do not fit. But in my interest and in his or her own interest, this is good. That we don't match at all, that we don't go and then I am there and I'm like so uncomfortable and I'm like, no, this is not me. I have actually been on a few platforms that I felt that no, this is not me. This is not how I felt really uncomfortable, because I felt like I couldn't deliver the way I knew how, the best way. And it wasn't because I was growing and learning new things only, but it was also because I wasn't in the space that I enjoyed being in. I hope you get what I mean. And so being authentically yourself, or courageously you, it helps you attract the right kind of people who accept you the way you are and who are willing to be served by you. So please be yourself. Don't worry too much that people are not going to accept you the way you are. You are fabulous. There is an audience for you. Serve them. We are all different people created for different purposes. Trying to be someone else so that people will accept you, I don't know, like that must be really hard. So please be yourself and trust that you are okay just the way you are. Of course, when I say be yourself, I don't mean the mean self, the angry self and all that. I mean the great self, So yes, and like I said, don't worry too much if you think that somebody will not like you for being your true self. The second one, so first one I talked about is be courageously authentic. The second one is be humble. Now, we human beings are such that sometimes we like to look at people and judge them based on the way they are dressed, their hair, and all these things. Okay. And so sometimes we see people and we think, oh, no, she's not my class, or he's not my class. He doesn't speak like me, or doesn't do that like me. And so they are not fit for me or whatever. And so we don't want to be nice and network with them. Networking is about connecting with people, and you never know who you are connecting with. I have learned this over and over again. It's amazing. I still continue to learn this lesson. Let me give an example. I was selling a product which was a little over $1,000, and my target market was, women, professional women, women in business, corporate women, and all that, because I thought they could obviously afford that kind of product, and younger children, like students, could not afford this. While I was selling this, there was this lady I had met earlier. We met through a mentoring event in which I mentored her briefly, and we stayed in touch. So occasionally I reached out to her, or she would reach out to me. And so when I started advertising this particular service, she reached out to me and asked about it. And this person in me, who is not Amma Duncan, initially was like, oh my God, yet another student asking me about a product that she can't afford. This was me assuming that because she was a student, she couldn't afford it. Long story short, not only was she able to pay for this service, she brought along another person and paid for them. So I could have just assumed that she's not my kind of, she's not my kind of client, and just told her, oh, no. But actually, she did buy the product or the service, and she was amazing on it, and she found value in it, and I enjoyed serving her as well. Now, this reminds me of that movie, Pretty Woman, where the lady goes into a shop, and because of how she's dressed, the attendant is mean to her, doesn't really serve her appropriately, so she goes to buy all these other stuff from the shop next door, and then she comes telling her, you made a big mistake. Really, we never know who we are networking with, so be humble. It could be a security person, and you think, oh, he or she is just security. You never ever know. And if you knew stories of people who have made it big in life and how they started, you would know that, please, what's it that we say? Don't despise humble beginnings. So in the same vein, please, when you are networking with new people, because you don't know them, just be humble, do it in a respectful way. I remember, for instance, there was this time that I met Dede Ayu. Now, this was someone that I had been, swooning over. Every time I saw him on TV, I thought he was so talented and he was cute. This was someone I had been swooning over, and I thought he was cute. Please make sure my husband is not watching this. And then I finally got to meet him face to face, like we say in Ghana, fili, and I didn't recognize him. I asked him, what's your name? And then he's like, I am. The minute he said, I am, I was like, oh my God, that's him, Dede Ayu. And then I started shaking. And so, sometimes we think that everybody recognizes us. Oh yeah, I'm a Duncan, and everybody knows who I am, the Fabulous Woman Network. Please, no, it's not everybody who knows you. So be humble and, just introduce yourself. Hi, I'm Amma Duncan. I have an organization called the Fabulous Woman Network, or whatever it is your introduction is. Be humble, because you never know who it is, and they genuinely may not know who you are. Be humble and tell them who you are. Imagine if the day Ayu has said, you don't know me, I am, would have been like, yeah, what's happening here? But of course, he wasn't like that. He was so sweet. He was humble. Be humble. So that's point number 2. The third thing is be helpful. Now, I have to put on my serious face for this one, because a lot of us actually network with something in mind. We say you meet someone who works in a certain office in the UN, and you really, really need someone to pay attention to you there. So the minute you know that this person works in the UN, you're like chasing for an opportunity to meet them. And the minute you meet them, you are throwing in all that you need at this person. I have made that mistake, and I've made enough for all of us. Please don't make it. always find a way to be helpful first. So the next point is be helpful first to the people that you network with. First of all, you don't even know who you are networking with. Sometimes it could be someone really that could be of value to you. Sometimes they may not be of any value to you. That's fine. However, if you know particularly who they are, for instance, if it's someone you want to mentor you, start by being helpful to them. Find an opportunity, if possible, before you even ask them for anything. Find an opportunity to serve them, volunteer or anything. One of my favorite mentors, male mentors, I met him by chance. I had no idea who he was. I just went over to help him because he needed help. And then occasionally he would reach out to me. And, I was like, why is this man so interested in me? Like, this is me assuming that he was interested in me, or like, as in he was interested in a relationship with me or whatever. But actually, it was nothing like that. This man that I had helped, perhaps he was grateful that I helped him. But later it turned out to be that he was someone I needed in my life. You see what I do now? Corporate training, speaking jab, all over. He does it all over the world. He's even bigger internationally than he is in Ghana. I was like, what? When I Googled him later and found out who he was, I was like, oh my God. Thank you that I know such a person. The first time I made real money from business, it was through the advice of this mentor. I hold him in such high esteem, not just because he is a great mentor to me. It was actually what he taught me first, to be helpful, without telling me I'ma be helpful, but he taught me that, through the experience I had with him, to be helpful. Also be humble, because you never actually know who it is you're meeting. And then, so when you are helpful to people, two things happen. Either they will, as someone say, retaliate. They will pay you back, or someone else will be helpful to you. You know the whole thing we say about karma? So be helpful. Don't always look for them helping you, but find a way also to be helpful to the people that you meet, the people in your network. And then the final point is be prayerful. Be prayerful. So this is, as a child of God, also as a Christian, as a spiritual person, I love that I can talk to God. I love that I have access to him and I can ask him questions and I can pray to him. There was this one time I was at a conference in another country. I had an amazing time at this conference. I had met wonderful people. I had met the president of the country. I had been interviewed on their news, their national TV by chance. I mean, all these wonderful things had happened to me. And I was like, oh God, this is amazing. How did I get here? And then I remember on the last day of the conference, just before I stepped out of my room to go to the conference area, I prayed a simple prayer. God, I have had an amazing time here. I've made so many friends. I've just enjoyed this. I've had a beautiful experience and met so many people. However, if there is anyone else you need me to meet, I know that you will lead them to me or me to them or something like that. Just said amen. This was like a quick 30-second prayer before I stepped out. Long story short, when I stepped out, doing the Duncan thing of always joking about and having fun with people, I was just out there being myself. And then these two people from Asia came over to me, joined in my fun and all that. And then later they invited my whole group for dinner. It was the last dinner before we left. And then we had a nice conversation over dinner, everything. We parted. Before then, we exchanged contact, and then that was it. When I returned to Ghana, the only thing I did was reached out to them via email, which I would usually do, just to let them know it was a lovely conversation. We stayed in touch just a couple of times, really. Little did I know that this person was watching what I was doing, watching my status, watching the work that I was doing, the stories I was sharing and all that. When there was a huge, ginormous opportunity to go and study for a brief period in Pakistan, Guess which African girl, young African bald-headed girl who has now dyed her hair, was invited to go. This was a conference I had no idea about. And this turned out to be an amazing experience, ladies and gentlemen. I could never have planned this the way it went. And I went through Singapore, Bali, and Dubai. Oh, this was just before the COVID. Ladies and gentlemen watching, I could never have planned this the way this happened. It was just God. It was simply God. And I'm so happy that I can relate the story to prayer, because I literally just prayed, stepped out, and then the series of events that followed led to this. And so I'm very, very passionate about praying even before we meet people, because you never really know who it is that you're going to meet. There it is. 4 tips that I promised to share for attracting a great network. I hope this has been of value to you. Let me know in the comments if this has spoken to you in any way, or if there is any tip I missed out. Of course, I have a few more tips I'm not sharing all here. When you join me in the class, you'll get to hear more of the tips. But if there are other tips, please feel free to share them in the comments. And by the way, before I let you go, just remember that we have the networking masterclass coming up. It's a class in which we'll learn how to build and sustain meaningful relationships with people. So we are going to learn a lot about networking, online, offline, how to behave, and all the different things. Of course, you can have your questions answered as well. So we have an early bird ticket, regular rate ticket, and the replay ticket. All details are in there, and it's starting from 270 Ghana cedis or $45. You can pay with bank transfer, mobile money, either Vodafone Cash, mobile money, with a Visa card, MasterCard, American Express, or with PayPal. All the details are in the link in the caption, or you can call or WhatsApp my assistant. He's set. The number is +233 246 252 So before I leave you, let me summarize the 4 tips for attracting a great network. First, be courageously authentic, then be humble, be helpful, and then be prayerful. Until I come your way again, God willing, next week, it's time.